So in this section, we will handle uh, player lives and also player invincibility. And this is because in the game, as you know, whoops, once the player crashes into something, he gets respawned at the starting location, and he is invincible for a short period of time, meaning no shot or no enemy tank can harm him. Like he has this protection aura or something. So let's figure out how we actually can create this. So going to our main, I will start by adding a marker to the and placing it where I would like my player to spawn and respawn. And I will call this player respawn point and move it up here in the hierarchy. And then in the player itself, I will grab a reference to it. So one thing I can do is just say, well, I could just grab a reference. So let's put it maybe here. Doesn't really matter. And on spawn, what we'll do is we'll call respawn function that will create. So respawn. And we'll need few things here. We'll say that the global position is equal to player respawn point global position, right? Remember that this respawn function is like opposite of explode function. So what we need to do is reverse everything we did here. So what we need is to say that the speed is set to, let's see, we need to set it to 25, right? But this can be changed. So what we actually need to have here is a variable called current speed. And in respawn, we'll set the current speed to speed. Current speed to 0. And here on the respawn, we'll say current speed is equal to speed. Then we need to use current speed for our calculation. So here. That's one thing reversed. The other thing is we need to activate physics process and process input. We need to set the scale. So animated sprite 2D scale is set to vector 1 1 and we play the default. Perfect, so that's one thing. And it seems it is working, and right now we are starting here where the marker is. Okay, but there's something more that we need to do, and this is to introduce our invincibility system. So in our player, I'll create invincibility system. So let's add a 2D node, call this invincibility system, and it will have invincibility timer. So a timer, basically how long the invincibility should be active. And then we will add animated sprite to the end, call this invincibility animated sprite. And to use it, actually, I will update the Battle City file. You can find it in the repository. Let's bring this. And let's see. Yeah, this is the updated version. As you can see, I added those two frames that will be like our invincibility animation on top of the tank. Okay, so with that we can create a new animation, new sprite frames, and default is good. I can just go to assets. Here, this is 16 by 16, and just choose those two frames. And if we change that to default and play this, you can see this is how our invincibility will look like. This is definitely too much. Change it maybe to 3 FPS. And we need to loop it. So this is correct. Okay. Then it's just a matter of coding our invincibility system. So let's add a script. Go to scripts and open, create, and let's start coding. The class name, same as the node. Get references to the timer and to sprite. By the way, the timer setup is rather easy. It should be 1 shot and 5. And that's all we need. Let's see. Already can start invincibility because we always are invisible on the first player spawn. So to start invincibility, we say that we need to show this, and we can autoplay. Oh no, we don't want that. Okay, and we can get this hidden. We need to start the timer, and we need to play the default. Okay, and then of course we need to hook to the timeout. Oh, not here. Disconnect and remove that. Again, timeout, we need to connect to invincibility system. Perfect. And of course we need to reverse what we've done in the start invincibility. So hide it, and of course also stop it. And then we need to know whether the player is currently invincible. And we can do that by using the getter property. So invincibility timer, if it's not stopped, that means we are invincible. And this can be used in our player. So by default, if we crash with the enemy, we explode. But we can create a calculated property here, or a getter, or whatever. Also, is invincible. Check the. Oh, do we have the reference to invincibility system? No. So let's drop this. So we use that to calculate it again based on the invincibility system. So now we need to not be invincible to actually explode. Oh, come on. It's invincible, and it's not invincible. Then there's always a matter of colliding with the bullet, right? So here, area is player. That check is not enough. We need to also check whether the whether we are invincible. So if area as player is invincible is false, then we explode. Okay, otherwise we need to get rid of the bullet too. So now when we respawn the player, what we need to do is say invincibility system start invincibility. And if we do that, to be honest, we don't need to trigger this already. So let's run our main scene and we start being invincible, and let's try it and crash with the enemy. Oh, too late. Okay, let's extend the timer just for testing to 25 seconds. And let's see whether our invincibility system works. So yeah, I'm getting shot at and nothing happens. And I can go through the enemies. Perfect. So our invincibility works, which is very good. So let's reverse the wait time of a timer to 5 seconds. And then we need to figure out what to really happen when we explode. So let's see. Going to our player and to our player script, we have explode, and if animated sprite to the animation explode is finished, we just queue free. Well, this has to be changed. First thing we do is we do game another, decrease player lives, and check if game another player lives is not equal to 0. If it's not, we respawn. Else, we queue free, and also I will leave a comment that end the game, right? How do you do? Oh, end the game. Okay. So that's it. I believe going back to my game manager, it will decrease the player lives. Okay, let's try this for 5 seconds. I am invincible. And then I crash into attack and I should respawn. And I do, and I start as invincible. Perfect. So, and the lives should be decreased. Yeah. So all of this is working, which is very good. And we have our invincibility system and the respawn system done. Thank you very much. And we will go to the next section where we will handle the level transition and creating the levels. See you there. Goodbye.